No food on me. I'm a sloppy eater, according to my wife. What is going on, everyone? And welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick, if you didn't mind hitting a like on this video, possibly subscribe to the channel if you are brand new here. If you are brand new here, welcome. It's me. Yeah. I am Ben. I host Kart 6T3. We talk about everything kart related, racing related, anything kind of everything to do with racing in general here. So if you're wondering where I get these video ideas, the kart is a very simple, basic mechanical thing. So there's a whole lot more to kart racing, as many of you know, and if you're new here. So, Kart 6, well, wait, let's do this differently. This video today is about JC Specialties. You know what you can purchase at JC Specialties? Huh? You can get yourself some fine track tack products, You can also get yourself, where's the thing? Right here. Some Burris Racing tires for your kart related abilities, even one wheel. They got treads, all sorts of cool stuff going on over at Burris. So you have any questions whatsoever about track tack line or Burris, feel free to reach out to me. One thing that JC Specialties does not carry is beard octane. Beard octane is manly products, beard oils, beard butters, body washes, beard wash, all sorts of good stuff to keep yourself looking and smelling the best that you can. Hop over to beardoctane.com. Ben 10 will save you 10% on top of whatever deals they usually got going on. And I say usually because not always, but most of the time, just Ben 10 at the checkout. Helps this guy out. Yeah, you know how it goes. Affiliate type stuff. Anyway, so I was able to finally get back down to JC Specialties. I always have the misconception that JC is very far away from me. It is not. It's like 2 3/4 hours away from me. Pretty much straight down from where I am in Western New York. And I run into it. It's like 15 all the way down. You break off past Williamsport, somewhere in there, and then JC Specialties. So, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this video, but I think initially I was going to do a little voiceover stuff. I'm still not super comfortable doing the voiceover stuff. Not only do you need a super quiet room in order to do it, and I have cats and dogs, and my wife, my kid comes in willy-nilly. I don't want to be right in the midst of actually rolling the footage that I got of JC Specialties and have to cut up it's just very frustrating from this side of the fence. But I'm going to talk you best through my day going to the JC Specialties open house and explain a bit to you about JC Specialties. Okay, what is JC Specialties? It is a ginormous, essentially warehouse, but it's a business. It is a kart supply warehouse. And I know I take nothing away from any other kart supplier. There's a lot of mom and pop stuff. I think that's wonderful. Just in general, I buy in general from a whole bunch of people. But when people reach out to me and they say, hey, Ben, where can I get this? Where can I get that? My initial reaction to all of that is JC Specialties. Call up and ask them if they got it. Because I think what I was told, I was talking to George Bark there. I think he said somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 individual type of products they carry for kart racing. That's amazing. That's a lot. Now, that's just one, like say seats. They only carry one seat. No. They carry seats, and then they carry 10 different style of seats, and you're going to see that later in this video. But I just kind of wanted to, tell you what was up. So as you get into what's Penns Creek, what you're going to run into is you're coming up this kind of windy, twisty road. Right directly in front of you as you're rolling in, if you go straight up that dirt road, that is Penns Creek Speedway. It is a D-shaped racetrack, kart track. Really, really cool, and it owes me one. It doesn't really owe me one, but I've been very fast there, and I have never won there on my UAS ride. So it's just a really cool track. I had the setup the last time I was there. I think it was a Northeast Divisional, and ended up getting DQ'd in a heat race for something falling off, and then I think I was coming up through the pack, and I got up to third, and I had a CDI quit on me. So it's not Penns Creek's fault. It's not that track's fault, but that You just blame the track because what am I going to blame myself? That's not happening. Anyway, so you see that you're make a left, and all of a sudden, just kind of out of nowhere, you come upon JC Specialties, and it is amazing. It is like I think there's 3 different individual buildings, or is there 2? There's definitely one that's had add-ons, and there's one to your right. I have never been off to the right, and I'm not sure what's stored in there. I'm assuming, overflow and this and that. But you get to JC Specialties, there's a huge parking lot, there's all sorts of bay doors, and then as you come in, you're going to get to the showroom. Now, as it's going to be awfully busy as you walk into the showroom if you come on open house. Typically, not that many people there, but the first thing, aside from the counter, and aside from just kind of the massive building you just walked in, to your left is a huge slot car track. And it is really cool. If you follow the JC Specialties page, they do some live timing and stuff. They do live races on there. And it'll, whatever lane you're in, red, yellow, blue, whatever it is. And then they'll have, I tell you what, I stayed till afterwards, after all the open house was done, just hanging out, BSing with some, old friends and stuff like that. But they're cutting tires. Oh, we know all about that. They're doing all sorts of things to these slot cars to make them go even faster. And I think there's money on the line. I don't think it's a lot. It's just it's a slot car track. But in general, it was just really cool. Whatever it is that you're into, you can get really into that thing. You can spend money on that thing. You can get super involved in whatever that thing is. Much like we're into kart racing, these people, they might also be kart racers, but they're into slot car racing. They're into that. They're into I saw some gauges and stuff being popped out, like going to thousands on things. I was like, whoa, that's awesome. That's really cool. But just in general, there's a big type of showroom that you walk into, and you're going to notice that the counter's right in front of you. There's going to be some, pretty much products on display behind the cash registers with computer system. I don't know, they're not really cash registers anymore, but I guess there's those. But anyway, there's some products there behind you. And as you look to the left and to the right, what you're going to see is, since they installed the slot car track, they have since put the chassis they sell up on the wall, and you think, well, why would you do that? It'd be nice to kind of walk around and look at. I assure you, you're not missing a whole lot by not seeing the underside, by not seeing things like at floor level. I think this is an amazing idea. They took the chassis and then they put them up on the wall and secured them, so you can go and kind of examine every little bit about it. Now, something I guess I order stuff from JC Specialties, but I never really had paid attention to what chassis they sell. Now, I was under the assumption they have 1, maybe 2 brands. That's okay. It's cool. We are, pardon me, we are a supplier of this. Oh no. So, it was cool to be able to see each individual one up front. Hermie Sailor Racing, the Premier Racing chassis. That was I think the first one all the way to the left that I saw. Really awesome looking chassis. I understand, why people get on them. It's from a fan standpoint, I like to observe the way bars are bent, where they're welded, different facets of the chassis to see and kind of contemplate how that chassis might handle. It looks to me like it's a stiffer chassis, but I know people who ride them around here, and we have very soft tracks up in the Northeast, and they do well. So my perception was that it was a little stiffer chassis. I could very well be wrong. I think the next in line coming down was the Ultramax Evolve. Now, I've been on a lot of chassis throughout my career. We'll just call it a career. It's not, I don't make money doing this, but throughout my career, and I've been on some Ultramaxes up until this point. I think the last one I tried a rival, and I didn't get a fair shake. But anyway, out of all the chassis, this one is definitely the probably the coolest looking one. Coolest. The ingenuity that went into this chassis, the thought process, the adaptability, the everything that went into the Ultramax Evolve is super cool. I just think it is a very well-designed chassis. A lot, like I said, a lot of thought process kind of went into it. Like, hey, why don't we think outside of the box? Why don't we just, break out of what normal there is in kart chassis land, and try something different, which I think Ultramax has always done. I mean, if you think about things like the eccentric, where the rear tubes came up and over the cassettes, there's a whole bunch of innovation there. Just really impressed in general. Next up would be, what I currently ride now, which would be Phantom Racing chassis. And I got to see my very first Tricon up front, and I kind of love it. I kind of do. So I know there's, people that ride other chassis, they're going to be like, oh, it's just the Phantom fanboys, whatever they offer. Hey man, I absolutely love my Phantom chassis that I've been on. I have a Phantom sight sitting right there. I have a Recon that I just painted. And the Tricon, it does lend itself to look familiar Recon, which I'm perfectly okay with, but something such as the rear crossbar, just little different aspects that they changed in that chassis are just on point. Very, very well put together, very sleek looking, very purposeful. I absolutely love that about the Phantom Racing chassis. It's just, can I afford any of them? No. Would I ride any of them? Absolutely. And probably my first choice might be the Phantom, only because it's what I know. It's what I've been on since 2017. But it is what it is. I have a preference, but I don't have a preference. I can appreciate every manufacturer. I believe the next up would be on the wall, at least I'm looking here, would be the Charger. The Charger there, again, very sleek, very purposeful, very well put together racing chassis. I think there's a real big name behind the Charger family, and those who ride it, you always see them run up front. You always see the Chavis run up front. All the guys that are on them. I met, matter of fact, I'll put it in here now, but I got to meet Donnie Nall. He's just, he's somebody that I had always heard of. You'd heard him in the past and still running up front, but you'd heard of this, Disco Donnie Nall, and I got to shake the man's hand. I got to have a conversation with him. Super duper nice guy. He also has his own line of props, so we're not going to promote him here, but I've heard they do very, very well. People really like his stuff. I think it's fantastic that JC brought them up. Over on, all right, that's this wall, and over to the right as I turn, I got to meet Denver Smith, DSC, and he produces the Demon Racing chassis, the Asylum, probably the best name that I could think of. I just like it. I do like horror movies and stuff like that, so it kind of lends it. But the Demon Asylum, I just think that combination is really cool. Again, a fantastic design. When I was talking to Denver, I did have to lend my appreciation to the design because it's not I don't want to say it's a basic chassis, but there's no frills. It is very to the point. This is what you need to go fast. I think is purposeful, and from what I know, it's a bit less expensive than the other brands, so that's a selling point to it. From what I know, from what I've heard, the Demon Racing chassis has a very big tire window, very usable, user-friendly, and that is definitely something that I think is a point in chassis manufacturing, that it's great to win the big races. It is nice to see your chassis run up front and win the 10,000 to win races. I think it's fantastic, but your sales come from Saturday night racers. You need that usability. You want speed in your kart. You do not want to give that up. You don't want to have such a big tire window that you're actually giving up speed from that aspect. But I think the Demon Racing chassis, as far as what I've been reported back to me, has that. It has the availability to be able to be very fast on a Saturday night for the main sale of the chassis. So that's what I initially, when you walk into the main area, that's what you're gonna notice first. It's the slot car track. It's just bam, it's right there. You're gonna see some products displayed upon the walls. There's all sorts of placards and this and that, different type of items kind of carried everywhere. And then on this particular day, I got to meet some people. Now, I have a list here. I know it's very unprofessional of me. I didn't want to miss out anybody. I actually did a little research, and if I did miss somebody, I am super sorry. It's not my intent. I maybe didn't meet you in person. There's a couple people I didn't actually meet and, have a conversation with, and that's okay. It wasn't for lack of, me not wanting to, just room full of people. I was talking to some people, may have missed some people. So, first to the right, I believe it was BMS. Blumenstein. I have known, I think it's Keith. I'm pretty sure it's Keith. Keith Blumenstein, a very long time, runs the Burris Money series. Obviously, this channel, sponsored by Burris. Big supporter of theirs. I love American-made stuff, and Burris is one of those things. But he has been, God, did he say 17 years? I want to say 17 years. I could be wrong with it. Don't take what I say with a grain of salt when it comes to numbers sometimes. I do my best to do it, but when I'm having a conversation, I talk a lot. You see this on the on the videos that I have a tendency to carry on about stuff. Anyway, we had bounced it back and forth. We were talking about UAS stuff. We were talking about kind of the state of karting and things like that. And BMS, Burris Money Series, from a standpoint of mine, I've never been to a race. It's only, the races are held in Pennsylvania. I'm in New York. A lot of the classes they didn't, hold. I ran UAS for a lot of years, and they didn't have an open, class. They had KT 100. I have, in and out of the KT world type of thing. I just never have a clone. Never had a reason to go down. Now that I do have a clone, it's really kind of entered in my mind that maybe this year will finally be the year that I get down to a BMS race. I think it's fantastic. There was, as I was looking over the table, there was, pictures, this huge amount of tires that got given away at the banquet this year. There's leather jackets. There's all sorts of stuff. I absolutely love it. I think that, I live kind of in Burris country. I know there's different areas of Burris country throughout the United States, but I live in what originally was considered Burris country a long time ago. So super supportive of that. I think as I walked in to the left was at FHS Oil. Super nice guy. Got to meet him. I told him straight up. It's like, hey, my engine builder doesn't have me run that type of oil. It being my first year in clone, I don't know. I just run what my engine builder told me to run. I'm like, cool. But I had a great conversation with him. He talked about the history of FHS, my knowledge of it. I think at one point in time, I think it was 62R, the red oil that they had. And he says they're mostly known for that, and they're trying to break free of that. I think that I saw Clone Light, Clone Medium, this and that. They have different weights of oils. Like the red stuff is kind of heavier stuff, which, doesn't lend itself to ultimate horsepower. But I just got thinking, I hope I turned my camera on. Oof, brain fart. My bad. But they definitely have light stuff. As I was in the back of JC Specialties, I noticed that they had a huge supply of FHS hours. I can only assume that they're doing real well. I just noticed today, right before I got on here, that the Ultimate Kart Media guys, the FHS sponsor those guys. I think that's fantastic. Get your name out there. There's a bunch of oils that I know about. I'm not super into the clone world of oils and what are great, what are bad. I know Thor oil, obviously Dino K, I think is what I use, and FHS. I have no bad opinion about anybody, and I'm sure that, this motor builder prefers this kind and this motor builder prefers this kind. FHS, I mean, from what the guy was saying, I think it's super high quality product. Really, really cool. All right. DSE, I just kind of mentioned that. Denver Smith, got to kind of banter about with him. Finally got to meet him out in the main area there. But as the day went on, Denver and I got to kind of BS about this and that and talk about, he is originally from up here and now he's located down in Virginia. Makes a crap ton of parts. I mean, tire rings to junior pedals to chassis to everything. He makes a lot of stuff, and a super, super nice guy to shoot the breeze with. I really enjoyed my time with him. Donnie Hall and Charger, I kind of mentioned that already. Again, super nice guy. I had to ask him, do you do much UAS stuff? And no, it's a different world. We UAS, open racers, we coexist within the tracks of the clone guys. They far outnumber us. But we like to think that yes, there's money on the line, but for the most part, you ask a UAS guy, he's going to say it's flower leader racing. There's more to it than that, and I kind of talked with Donnie a little bit about that. But he said he's rode some open stuff. Obviously, the big O engines, the 14 CI, I think that is, open flatheads and stuff like that. He's been in those. He's been in some open stuff, but I mentioned, some people that I know from down south that he'd know, and it was a really good conversation. John's Kart Bodies, I didn't get to have a super in-depth conversation with him. Just kind of a newer name to me. What I did converse with him, we were kind of interacting with other people, and super funny guy. I'll have to check out and see what his kart bodies are all about. I know that, obviously JC Specialties sells them, but I don't know a ton about them, so, it is what it is. 5.3 titanium. I probably had, sorry about that, long-winded video. I wanted to give you the full-on 5.3 titanium, Scott. I probably talked with him the most. It was it was really cool. He knows George Bark. I've known George Bark from a long time ago. George Bark works there part-time here and there, working on the website. But, any complaint I've heard about JC Specialties is the website is kind of still, so push on George a little more. Let's get these pictures up. Let's get this stuff done. I know it's a tall task, but anyway, I was get to hang out with the 5.3 titanium guys. Fantastic products. I mean, when you pick stuff up and you hold in your hand, holy smokes, what a difference between two. I've done videos on this before. It is up to you whether or not you can afford it. The performance, this is a debatable issue. Do you want that acceleration or do you want that rotational mass to carry you in the next corner? I think there's a real happy medium in between there. They look fantastic. If you're somebody who is thicker around the midsection, if you can spare some weight in your cart to get closer to your target weight goal, I think titanium's the way to go. It was really cool. They were talking way above my pay grade. There are all sorts of access points and this and that, and just machinery and blah, blah, blah. It was great to have that conversation. It was great to be kind of privy to all that stuff. I'm a Saturday night racer. There are a lot of data points they're talking about that I was just like, I was like, all right, I'm glad somebody's on it because I am not. But as far as the products go, absolutely fantastic, super stuff. I saw one of the WKA. I think I'll do a video on that. WKA banning the TI rear axle. Opinions I may or may not have on that. But saw that fantastic looking piece of thing. Now, fairly expensive, but titanium typically is, if you got to pay to play. If it's legal and you're looking for that type of speed gain, 5.3 titanium, fantastic company, super good dude. I reached out to him afterwards, and just like I wanted to say, hey, thanks, and he said he went right back to he's busy doing sprint car stuff and this and that, and 600 micros and blah, blah, blah. It just very busy, very, I dig it. I love the hustle. I love the work. It just super nice to meet him. Pro Blend. I met him before. He's a hot lap. He's a guy. He's a kind of a ball buster. Super nice dude. He knows Chris. He said that Chris Harris of Track Tack used to work for him, maybe. I think that's what he said. But anyway, super funny guy. He was just kind of in the midst of me having conversations with other people. Of course, I take off this sweatshirt and I'm wearing my Track Tack Tire Treatments t-shirt. And he's just like, he's giving me crap about that. He's just like, can't stand your shirt or something like that. He was being funny. No harm, no foul there. Just a really good dude. WMS gears and stuff like that. I didn't actually get that. I think he was kind of in here and there within the group. I didn't recognize him. I feel bad. I'm sorry I never, came up and introduced myself, but who am I? I don't ever want people to think that I'm some kind of big deal, because I'm not. I'm a dude. Again, I've said it a billion times. I'll say it again. I am a dude in a barn who just isn't afraid to get behind the camera and have a conversation with people that I don't know. So he doesn't know who I am. I kind of knew who he was, but I'm weird like that. Like I I feel uncomfortable coming up. Hey, I'm Ben Taft. I run Kart 63. I'm just not that dude. I'm just not that guy. I probably should be. It would be better for business. It would be better for the channel, but I'm just not. I run, I believe I have WMS bearings in my Recon right now. I think they're going to get replaced, but I think I ran them for years. But obviously, really good products, high quality stuff. I got a ton of gears, so real good. Stock car racing, I did already check that out. Now, those are all the people I met. Those are the people. There's tons of conversations. So what is behind the counter at JC Specialties? Well, as you walk in, you're not allowed to do this normally. It was an open house. They might, if they know you well enough, if they want to show you at first, or show you something, they may pull you back there, but it's not like you can walk in and be like, hey, I'm just going to walk out back and kind of grab what I need. I don't think it's the way they operate. So we'll just put that first. So as you go in, the counter's here, you kind of walk in, you're going to see racks and racks of stuff. Holy smokes. I mean, obviously, it's right over there, but the Tygon, fuel line, gears, parts, pieces, bearings, engines, anything you could possibly think of, I think, as far as mechanically, just nuts and bolts and what have you, all in this area. And then you're going to get the further back towards the actual warehouse portion of that, you're going to get into your props and stuff, and they carry a crap ton of prop. Obviously, I'm going to nudge you guys to the way of the Track Tack because, they're a channel sponsor, but they got everybody else. They I think they have, maybe they don't have liquid speed. I want to say, why does that stick in my head? Anyway, they might. The Goat P, whatever you need. They have it, and I swear they have more pee. And it's funny as you walk back there, you can smell the goat pee. It's a very distinguished type of smell. If you've been around goat pee at all, you immediately, your nose perks up. You're like, oh, some goat kicking around this place. So tons of parts. I don't want to undersell it. I don't want to oversell it, but just racks and racks of parts, tons of stuff, whatever you kind of can need. As you're walking into the back big warehouse, that is where most of your tires are going to be, and rims. So as you walk in there, I believe there's a whole rack of what was on there? Maxxis. There was pinks and blues and whites, I think, on that. I didn't see any Reapers there. I believe they have an order coming in. They're a big warehouse. They're going to have to carry them. Hunterstown, and there's going to be some big money races, I think, coming the way of the Reaper into, PA and stuff like that. So they're going to be carrying those. Coming to your left, there's going to be a ton of rims. There's going to be GTR rims. I did a video on them, guys. They're Van K. That through conversation, I didn't know. I just didn't pay attention. Didn't have this channel always. Didn't have a need to pay attention. But somebody said that Douglas went out of business. I'm like, man, I got Douglas wins. It's probably the people are busting my balls about the surfacing video that I did. They had a little wobble. That's probably a Douglas rim because it's been around for a very, very long time. So, but yeah, tons of rims, whatever sizes you can kind of think of. That's here. You walk out in this into the kind of main area where it's the open house, so you can get coffee, you can get a little food and stuff like that. There's even more tires to your left, and all sorts of oils. FHS. There's Dyno K. There's all sorts of Thor. I think is there. They got a whole rack. I think I got the. I think I got a shot of all that. You'll know right now because I'll be showing you the footage as I'm talking here. But they kind of had what set out was a prepared Premier cart, and that was kind of cool to see. It's one thing to see the chassis on the wall. You get to see how, where the tube's been and this and that. But to see one absolutely put together is really cool. It was also really cool to see Premier's brand new body. And they got some different stuff going on with that. I think that's really nifty. We were in conversation, is that going to be, is that a Premier only type of thing? Only if you own a Premier, can you buy that body? That was, really, it was a good question. But walking around it was just nice to see one set up. We don't have a ton of Premiers up here yet. I'm sure they will be coming. Obviously, not TS, jeez. Just JC Specialties is carrying them. So I would assume that we'll probably see them up here pretty soon, at least more of them, because Premier's become, one of the premier names in kart racing. So I definitely, it was really cool to see one already set up. Where else are we going to go? We are going to go, we're going to go up top. Seats. I mentioned it before. What kind of seats? I said, hey, they carry seats. And it's not one seat. The loft, we'll call it a loft, attic. We could call it an attic if you want to. You go up there, and it is seats upon seats upon seats. This is actually somewhere where my friend George was up there. He had a customer up there, and they were trying to figure out what seat he wanted to be in. They have these little stands that you can sit the seat in, kind of sit there and put your butt in it and see if that actually feels comfortable. Because as you know, it's most of us are just going to order a seat and hope that it really fits. Well, if you happen to go there, if you happen to, walk into the main area and say, hey, I would like a seat, they are probably going to walk you all the way back through there. They're going to walk you up the stairs into that attic loft area, and then you're going to see all the seats, and then you're going to be able to, hey, man, I need a large seat. Let me let me try this, what kind do I run? The Gen I don't want to say Gen X. Anyway, the Phantom seat. But they have a bunch of different ones. It was just like, I really could use a new seat. I've had the same seats from 2017. Probably not the greatest thing. Kind of form fits me. I'm used to have them. But it was just like seeing all these new seats. I was like, I can't afford that right now, but maybe I'll do that. So as you come down from there, those were all the seats, really cool. Again, with the more storage. Now we're going to walk into just basically the big warehouse storage. They got even more tires. They got, as you walk around there, I believe there's KKP, kart lifts. There's kart stands. There's hot boxes. They, just anything you think where they store all the body, and the body work, the side panels and all that stuff. There is just another level of storage of stuff that is available to you at JC Specialties. It's really cool. It's, like I said, I think I was talking about it in a live or whatever. If you get the chance to go to the warehouse, to the open house they hold every year, it's towards the end of February every year, I'm pretty sure. That's right. I missed it the past couple of years, just being lazy. So I think last year something came up. I was reached out to, hey, you want to come down, check this out? And I've been down there. I would love to. I think I was just, something had come up, some family emergency, something could have been that big a deal. I forgot all about it. Anyway, if you get the chance to go to the open house, not only to just see, how big and amazing JC Specialties is, but you get to go and meet some of these people. You get to, run into the guys from 5-3 Titanium. You get to meet Donnie and all and have conversations with the people there. Obviously they're going to try and sway you into their products. That's the intention. But it's also a way to get the consumer to the producer or the representative to, hey, let's talk. What can your product do better for me at my racing program? I think that's absolutely amazing. They had some awesome pulled pork back there. Very good. I got to look at the tires. I was going to buy a set of 33s. They were out. They had sold all their 33s out. I needed 11s anyway for AMS, so I just went ahead and picked up a dog-leg set of those. But I was just like, I was looking at the rack of 33s, and I'm like, holy crap, they're out. I know they got more coming in. No big deal. They're constantly, as fast as you can buy it, they're trying to sell it to you, and that's the way business does. So anyway, I think that's about good, right? I'm sure I've been rambling on here for half an hour or close to it. My throat hurts. It feels as if I've been rambling on about this. But JC Specialties just I've been buying from them for a very long time, and there's a reason for it. It's, I kind of had this this silly idea. If I were to do a commercial for them, it'd be them sitting behind the counter, be like, hey, do you have this? And just whatever random product is. Do you have this? Got it. Do you have this? Got it. Do you have this? Got it. Do you have this? Oh, we can order it. Do you have this? It's coming in a week. They're just somebody who can get you what you need for your racing program. It's one of my go-to, like I said in the beginning of the video. It's not that I have anything against, smaller suppliers or anything like that. They're great. They're awesome. I use, a bunch of them as well. But when it comes down to it, who's going to have it? Probably JC. If somebody asks me Burris tires, they ask me about TrackTac tire treatments, they ask me about seats, they ask me about bodywork, they ask me about any, one of the 5 different brands of chassis they offer, I'm going to tell them JC because they're going to be, especially up in the north here, they're going to be the quickest to get it to them and one of the biggest chances of actually having the product and getting it sent out to you. When I order stuff from them, usually if I order it by, say noon, one day, I know I'm 2 and 3/4 hours away, but it's either next day or the very next day. I'm in New York, so they have an entire dedicated shipping room. Whatever it is you're looking for, you could buy it. You can call up, give them your credit card. Hey, I need this, and chances are it's going to be shipping within a day or two to you to get you your product. So they're not a standard sponsor of this this channel, but I do buy a crap ton of stuff from them, and I have for very many years. So when I had the opportunity to go down and experience the open house again, I thought, you know what, it's totally worth making a video. I love supporting those who support others. They got great prices, great deals, and all that stuff. So we'll cut it off here because I'm verklempt. I've been talking for an awfully long time. Hopefully everything went over well. Hopefully I got all the shots that you need to have the behind the scenes, the B-roll footage as they call it in video making land. Hopefully I remembered to turn on the camera. I am going to freak out if I didn't hit record. I'm going to lose my marbles. But Kart 63 is brought to you by TrackTac Tire Treatments. And if you're going to use TrackTac Tire Treatments, you might as well use TrackTac Tire Treatments on Burris Racing tires. There you go. And then, so you smell good for the ladies. A little beard oil. Some Victory, favorite cologne type scent. Beard oil from Beard Octane. Get you some of that as well. I just thought I'd throw them in there. They're always on the wall. They're a supporter of mine. They'll be the 3rd year that they're coming on board the 63 Kart, not the 63 Kart, but the 63 Kart. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring them in. But thank you very much for stopping by, and I really appreciate the invite down to JC. Not that, I really need it. I was going to come down anyway, but I really appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next video. Later.